Hello everyone, it's Don and Don back with the next progress report on the Corsair. As you can see, I'm still working on the tail wheel. The springs that I was trying to use, I couldn't get them to work good. They weren't holding enough tension, and I just needed heavier springs, which I didn't have. So I spent many hours over the week since Tuesday sizing up springs. I went to McMaster Car. They have a great section of springs, and you can go in and get them from tiny things all the way up to 12 inches or 15 inches long, up to 2 inches in diameter. So what I did is I went to Walmart and bought this little fish scale. What I needed to do was see how much my tail wheel assembly weighed. Grab that thing, hook on there, and give her a pull, and so it works real good. It goes up to 50 pounds. And what I did before is I took the scale, stuck it under the tail wheel, lifted everything up, propped it up, set it on there, and it was like 3.6 pounds. So if I was to hook onto the tail wheel here, basically I weighed to put the scale under here. So if I lift it from here, I need 3.6 pounds of weight just to hold that up. So the spring would need a minimum of 3.6 inches. Well, after searching for those, I finally realized I was making an error and had to recalculate. So when this goes together in here, my lift point is here. So I can't weigh it there. I could probably use a rod or something on the scale, but I went and bought that fish scale. So then I was able to hook on there and pull up until the scale was just taking this weight off the wheel, lifting the wheel, and it's around 7-ish, 8-ish pounds of spring force. So it's a difference from 3.6 to 7, 8 pounds up here. So I had to research. But after finding 2 or 3 different options, and first I was originally looking to come clear up here because it would only need a very short spring. You're only talking about a 2-inch window of where this thing moves. Out here is the main problem. This moves 7 inches up. So the spring has to be able to stretch 7 inches. So let me show you what I did. And then the problem I had was it would require a long spring that I didn't have any room inside to run it, especially up and down, and it takes such a big diameter spring. So I came up with a new idea of a pulley here to run from the wheel. It's going to attach just like it is here, roughly in this position. And this is in the up position, and I was looking to bring a spring down to here straight forward. But the problem is I didn't have enough room because I needed a lot of stretch. I need that 7 inches of stretch. So this is what I came up with. I made this bracket here, bolted in underneath all this, supports the pulley. And then this is a 1/2-inch piece of tubing, thin wall steel, and I got it hooked in the end here. And this is a 7-inch spring, 1.5 inches in diameter. So if you stretch it in its lax position, the way springs are measured is when you apply force to it and you just start stretching the spring, that's the minimum tension. So I was looking for a minimum tension to get into the 7-8 pound range, possibly a little more. But any spring that had that kind of tension there, the spring was massive wire size, and you were talking about once it stretched out, if it could stretch out 7 inches, you were looking at over 100 pounds of force, which I didn't need. So this is 1/8 inch, 7 inches long. It can stretch up to 19 inches. So it means it has 12 inches of stretch. Now, I had to make this rod long enough so I can get 7 inches of travel out of this before this shackle runs in and collides with this. So, and the gear motor hooked to the chain drive of this is all going in. I had to shift this forward to 1/4 inch too to give me more clearance here. I was always having trouble getting this sprocket out because it's right up against the bulkhead inside the plane right here. So I moved it 1/4 inch to give me some clearance, so this will go in and out easier, this particular piece here. So this is going to go up in first. So right now it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, and I'm ready to throw this in. This is done. It's all shackled. I use a piece of plastic here, so when this is pulling, if it rubs on here, it's not going to scrape and wear metal to metal. and then the bottom it doesn't touch once it's up in there. And it's angled up at a little bit of an angle, so when it tucks up in there, it tucks up into here. So that rod is the anchor point, and it pulls right against this whole massive assembly that's bolted to the basically bulkhead and the vertical fin spar, which is this big fat spar right here. So there's a big 3/4 inch strip of wood going up through there, and that's where it bolts through. And then there's 2 pieces of 1/8 inch plywood on each side of that, and this is the spar here for the stabilizer, which is another 3/4 inch. So you've got, let's see, 1 3/4, 2 inches of material here that the bolts all bolts through, so it's nice and solid. So all the force, when this wheel is completely down, it's going to be in the around 35 pounds of force on that spring. So it works out good. And like I say, this will pull 12 inches to a total of 19 from loop to loop. So this is 7 loop to loop where this is. So I just put a piece of plastic in there that helps with rubbing. And then this is a 1/16 inch cable, and I just crimped that on with my hydraulic crimper from Harbor Freight. The thing is great. Actually, there's all the different dies that come with it. So the thing's beautiful. Can't remember if it was 60, 70 bucks, but it's well worth it. So I'm getting ready. I'm going to take this assembly off here, this lower sprocket. Pull that out of there. And this will get bolted in last. And then once that chain's hooked up to that motor, this won't move without physically energizing the motor to run her up and down. So I can get this up in there and get this anchored in there. Then I can put that up in there and get her bolted in, get the chain hooked up, get her pre-tensioned, and then I can run the gear up until this thing goes up into position, and then I can stretch this down to see how long to make this, where I need to cut it off, and I need to make some kind of little tab, because this assembly here bolts to this right here, so bolts under that bolt there. So I have to put instead of that washer, I'll use a 1/16 inch piece of steel, make a kind of an oval strap, and then I'll make a loop on this thing and grab it there and pull it up, because when this folds up, it folds up this way, so it doesn't get in the way. And then that cable will pass right up through here, and grab on. So, alright, let me get to that, and I will put these, I'll make the rest of the video after this is all done, and hopefully I'll get it done to where it physically works tonight, and then I'll finish out this video. So, I'll be right back. Okay everybody, I'm back several hours later. Let me see what it is. It's after 5 o'clock, so it's been almost 3.5 hours since I made the first part of this. I got it all together, got it all hooked up. Kind of get in here and show you, if you can see what it looks like installed. Right up in there you can see the rod and the end of the spring just sticking out. And then it's hard to see, but the cable comes down and attaches right here on this pulley. Get this thing set on the floor. So it attaches to this point over here on the inside. You can actually see the cable tucked up in there, right there. You can see that. So that's in the up position, and that works well. It works very good. Switches are working. Gear goes up. The only problem is now it's too much tension. It's doing the opposite of what it did before. It doesn't want to come down. Let me double check my speed controller. I'll turn it all the way up and see what happens. All right. See, there's my 2 green and a blue. Down. And that's as far as it wants to go. The motor's struggling. But when this thing is completely down like that, it's not hitting the limit switches, so it's still showing that it's trying to move with the red light. But it works. But now the motor doesn't have enough torque. And there's the cable, and it's under good tension. I mean, there's probably, doing the math, it's probably pushing 30 pounds of force. So, and it doesn't like it. It's too much for that motor. It almost seems like that motor has gotten weak on me. It's not putting out the power that it used to. The old assembly was lighter than this. Even with the 6-inch wheel, I could probably dig out those parts, throw them on the scale and see what they weigh. Everything else is still pretty much the same. Yeah, here's, no, that's the junk wheel. Yeah, here's the whole assembly right here. There's quite a bit of weight to that. But that one would just barely work too. So I'll have to weigh that, see what it does. But this one is steel, forged steel. The tire's the same size. With the original 4-inch wheel on there, which is about the size of the rim on this, it worked good. So I've already went in and looked up McMaster car to see what they had for springs that have a lighter force, because when it's stretched down like this, the spring force is really strong to help it start going up. And then as it goes up, it gets weaker and weaker. And I have maybe an inch of pull on it or less preload. So when the wheel's all the way up, it's stretching the spring an inch or less. Because again, I was weighing it from here, and it was pushing 7 or 8 pounds of weight, so you need at least that much just to kind of get it up and hold it in the up position. The motor will help, but it's too much. So I did find another 7-inch spring, thinner wire, 095. This is an 1/8-inch wire on these coils, and that one this one here will stretch out to 19 inches, and the other one will stretch to 23, and that only puts out 1.6 pounds per inch. So with that new spring, same length, all I'd have to do is pull the motor down, pull the spring out of it, swap it over, put it right back in. That downforce of that one is only 14 pounds, so it's half of what this is. And then my other option would be, there's the sprocket on the motor, I believe is a 25-tooth sprocket, because it was part of the original sprockets I bought. There's a whole bunch of 25 chain, and there's another sprocket in here. That the original design of this landing gear was a hand crank, and it had 2 sprockets down the outside of the fuselage underneath the foam. They went down to the shaft. There we go. And I think that's the size I have on there right now, because I bought 2 of these, and they're either, I want to say they're 20 or 25 teeth. I think it's been bored out, doesn't have it, but I'll have to count those. But I looked up, and I can get all the way down to a number 9 tooth. So I'll count the number of teeth. Say this is 20 teeth, and I drop it to a 10 tooth. So I can get a 9 or a 10 tooth with a 1/4-inch shaft, because that's basically what it's welded to make it work. I can change this out, shorten the chain up, and just put this on the motor, and that will give me twice as much torque as before, and with a lighter spring. So I'm going to go ahead and order up either a 9 or a 10 tooth. The bigger sprocket that actually moves the linkage, the scissor joint, up and down. I don't remember what teeth that is, but that's to the print. I can look that one up on the print, see how many teeth that was. And this is either 20 or 25. Let's do a quick count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 tooth. So if I drop down to a 10 tooth, that's going to essentially double the torque. So, all right, wife's got dinner cooking. I've been kind of pushing it late out here to get this done. I had to pull the tail cone off to disconnect the push rod for the elevator. The bolt rod end on the end, I had to take the bolt out of it so I could move the push-pull tube out of the way to get that mechanism up in there. With that rod and spring on there, I wasn't able to maneuver the motor up around that push rod to make it work. And then by loosening that up, I can move it almost an inch either way, and it was just enough for me to kind of flex the tube and get it up in there. So taking it out is not going to be that big of a deal. All I have to do is disconnect the cable. I can pop the cable off of the pulley. I can reach up in there with a stick and get it off there, and that loosens it up to where I can then unbolt everything and drop it out of there. But I don't have to take the linkage or nothing out. I just have to pull the motor back out. It'll come out just by disconnecting down here. But I'm going to go ahead and order up a smaller, either the smallest 9 tooth or a 10 tooth, and I'll order up that new spring. So I'm going to be cutting the spring tension in half when it's fully down, and then it's going to basically double the torque rating of the motor, close to probably double, and the torque output of the motor. So hopefully those two things will get it working. And then also I still got the doors. No matter how I do that, that's going to have to be either pulled shut with the gear doors, which is going to add a little more force to it. So it's amazing that the old system worked. I was able to use the speed controller to slow it down, because if I run just straight 12 volts to it, it just slam before. But even if I turn the speed control all the way up, it still doesn't want to come a quarter of the way down. It's just too much force. Alright, I guess that's going to do it for this update. I'll get these two spliced together tonight. Make sure everything's off. Heat's off. The lights are off. Power heat's off. Oh, we've had last 2 days. We were yesterday, Saturday, and today. We're pushing, I guess it was in probably 35 degrees yesterday and today. So it started melting all the snow, but it's supposed to be essentially in the 40s all week. So hopefully and it's supposed to be able to stay above freezing the whole time. Even at nighttime, it's not going to drop below freezing. So this stuff should melt fairly quick if it's nice and sunny. Like yesterday was nice and sunny, it felt warmer. Today was overcast, a little clear, and it was on and off with the feeling warmer, but didn't feel any warmer today because the sun was not very good. I just took the dog for a walk, and it's cool out, but it's a little cooler, but now the sun's pretty much ready to set. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for this update. I'll get these two spliced together tonight and get them loaded for you. I'll get those spring coming. I'll order them either tonight or tomorrow morning, but I'll have them Tuesday. They're in stock, so it says delivery would be Tuesday since they won't ship till tomorrow. Alright, that's going to do it. As always, I appreciate everybody taking time to watch my videos. Feel free to leave any comments, questions, concerns. As always, don't be afraid to leave any comments. They're all appreciated. Okay, everybody, I will catch you again more than likely Tuesday night, and hopefully I'll have this sorted out by then. Okay, everybody, take care. So this is Dialer Don out.